So, did you text Barack this week, or how's that working out?
I figured since it was Olympics time, I would let him enjoy watching the Olympics and let it be a family moment. And then plus, I was coming down here to hang out with you.
That's right.
So I wasn't gonna be there. No need in wearing it out too soon.
Good. Do you have any other big stories this week that we need to be aware of?
No other big stories.
Okay.
No, I think it's been a pretty tame week so far.
Can I share a nugget with you?
Okay. Oh wait, I played golf with Michael Eaves this weekend.
Michael Eaves, the great Michael Eaves. Did he talk about me?
He forgot to mention you.
Let me tell you something. Can I tell a quick Michael Eaves story?
Okay, you took a quick one.
So Michael Eaves and I were like, I was like his best friend, like the week before he left Memphis, because he used to work in Memphis.
Yeah.
And
I know.
Right before he left Memphis, I hung out with him every night for like 3 weeks. I had just moved to Memphis. But we hung out literally every night for 3 weeks. Half of those nights were spent at the Purple Palace. Because he knew people.
He was big time. He's still big time.
And then he moved on. He moved on to ESPN. He moved on at first, I think, to the Clippers. He started doing stuff with the Clippers. And the first time I saw him in LA, I was like, Michael, how you doing? Yeah.
He didn't.
He gave me the what's up, man?
The LA what's up?
The LA what's up? And I was disappointed. Like every time I see him now, it's like he doesn't remember who I am. Now, that was 22 years ago. So you forget people. I understand. But I don't think I was forgettable. Because every time I see him, I nod and I say, Michael, and he just, hey, how's it going? He has no idea who I am. We were literally best friends for 3 weeks.
This might have been a one-sided relationship.
Maybe he just needed a ride.
So how, did y'all fully hang out? Did y'all go to the same place?
No. We drove together. We went together.
Like y'all sat together and talked to other people?
Called on the phone. Hey, what are you doing? What are we doing tonight? All right, let's go. Cool. And then we went. Yeah, I mean, it was a relationship, Brevin.
Maybe you have to go up and say, Rob Fisher.
Do
Memphis.
you remember me? If you see him again, will you remind him about me?
As soon as we get done, I'm going to text him. If he takes my text. I play such shit in this tournament. I didn't play good at all.
So you played with Michael Eaves?
I played in his member guest at his club, and it was cool, great people, but bad golf for me.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't mention it as being such a great moment. But since we're on the streak of some people that I may run into.
Yeah.
He's one.
Michael Eaves.
Rob Fisher. Memphis.
Come on, man. By the way, here's a nugget for you.
Purple Palace.
Purple Palace, yeah. Last week we talked about the Arena Bowl, remember?
Oh, yes.
And it was the 33rd Arena Bowl, which stunned us. Do you know that it's the 33rd Summer Olympics? And there have been 33 Arena Bowls?
And there's an Arena Bowl on the same level.
And I know it's every 4 years, duh, I know. But still, the Arena Bowls had as many Arena Bowls as we've had Summer Olympics. I think that's amazing. Pretty amazing.
Well, for the most part, because they're playing some of these Super Bowls, Arena Bowls, in malls.
Malls! Shopping malls!
It's hard to continue to give yourself a lot of validity or a lot to stand on with playing championships in the mall.
That's right. All right, welcome to Night Court, everybody. That's Brevin Knight. I'm Rob Fisher. You can catch the show on Twitter at Night Court 22. You can catch Brevin at Brevin Knight 22 and myself at The Fish Nation. Who are we wearing today, BK?
Well, it's getting tight. It's getting close. It's getting really close. Daniel Jones is in training camp.
Yeah.
Just signed a new offensive lineman from the Raiders, and so we went out and got better on the defensive side. Of course, we would love to have Saquon be back there to make things go right, but I'm optimistic as everyone at the start of the season.
Yeah.
It always sees what happens by week 3 or 4 how I'm feeling.
Camp's fun, man. Feel good about the team, don't we?
I do.
Feel good.
And I'm really excited about the receiver from LSU to give us a little bit of pop on the offensive end.
Yeah. I am wearing O'Hara's It's a restaurant and pub.
Is that the guy that you know?
It's in New York City. It's in Lower Manhattan, in the shadows of World Trade One or whatever it's called now. World Trade Center One, I think. Freedom Tower, it was called when it was first built. It's right there, and it was in the shadows of the World Trade Center when the bombing or the flights happened. 9/11 happened. And it's a really awesome place because this is the place that it stood standing through everything, and they served all the emergency personnel throughout, throughout everything. They fed them, they did everything for them, and the whole restaurant and bar is filled. The wall is like wallpapered with patches from personnel who were here on 9/11, and their patches are up on the wall. And it's amazing because they're from all over the world. People came from all over the world to try and help with the search party and everything. So you'll see one like from your hometown. You'll go look, you'll be like, hey, that's where I'm from, and you'll find that. It's pretty awesome to see. And to this day, they still serve emergency personnel, serve them food and drink whenever on the house. Although apparently it's like against the law to do that, to give them like free food and drink. So he charges them like $5 and then gives it to the the waiter or whatever. So but it's a great place. So shout out to O'Hara's. It's one of my favorite places in New York City. And if you're ever there, because the owner of the place loves coming out and talking to us and remembers us from every year, just say you heard it from the Grizzlies announcers, and he'll probably give you a free drink. So,
I'm glad you guys take me when y'all go.
Oh, it's New York. You think we see you? Come on, man. All right, are you locked in? Are you locked in on the Olympics right now? Go USA.
They say every 4 years is where we can kick in with this pride of the country, and so I'm all on board.
It boggles my mind the sports that I'm watching religiously for 16 days that I won't watch for, like you said, for 4 years. I won't.
Right.
And I love I think the swimming's exhilarating. I think the gymnastics is amazing. I think I don't know what else have I watched. The rugby was okay. That was kind of weird. Handball, volleyball. I can watch volleyball indoor or outdoor all day, every day. But when the Olympics are over, I don't. I don't. But I get so invested for these 2 weeks.
Oh, listen, I told you. And then you start watching it the U.S., but you watch other countries. You just start to just watch what's on. And there's so many channels that you can go through it. And it's been amazing to watch and see. Like women's rugby, 7-on-7.
Yeah.
First I'm like, well, is this football 7-on-7? Like, is this like, I didn't even know that they had that. And to see the U.S. women win the bronze after winning no medal, Canada, and it goes into the gold game. It was after beating Australia. It's just cool to watch, like you said, sports that you wouldn't watch any other time. And I just start to think, like, where do you know how to play like where do you do handball? Like, where's that at? And if you wanted to do that, how would you get into it? Is it specific to a certain, like some of these things are such sports, and then I told you my favorite one has been the equestrian. On the equestrian side, when the horses, they just...
The dancing one?
The dancing one. When they just like this. And it's like, holy cow, like how they get this horse? And then they walk slow, then they stop. I don't understand the scoring. I don't know like what made yours better than the other. But the one dude, one guy, he's like 6'7", riding a horse who was 19 hands high.
How big is that?
That's 19 hands. 19 hands is pretty much, you keep doing this, and that's how tall.
But whose hand?
I don't know.
What's a normal hand?
They make the train. They come out with the. They have.
The dude don't get down there and
they
just
got a foam. They got a foam hand that
and
they use. They have a standard hand.
Do they?
That they use. I have no idea.
Oh.
That's just what they say. How tall horses are.
Right.
And they were saying he's 19 hand being ridden by a 6'7" dude. It was amazing to see the size of this guy, and the size of this horse, and how it was just prancing the entire. It was. Yeah, I watched some stuff that otherwise would not.
I watched some of the horse stuff. It was the the steeplechase thing.
Yes.
Isn't that what it's called? Where they just
Steeplechase.
jump over the
Yes.
stuff? So they're put on a timer and they jump over all the stuff and they don't knock anything down and it's like second place and it's like, wait a second, what did he not do that the first place person did? It was the same deal. They're at the same time, they're jumping over the stuff and they all and the announcers are like, oh, a remarkable run. And it's like, really? I mean, what? I can't tell the difference between the last one and this one. That was when nothing was on. I was watching that. But I had to keep watching because I've been watching. You know, you talk about comparisons too. This dude, or at 6'7", you're talking about your rider at
Yes.
6'7". There was this guy, I think he was on the Poland volleyball team. I think it was Poland. He looked like Blake Griffin. And all I could do is imagine, my God, can you imagine Blake Griffin on a volleyball court? With his power and with his athleticism. And this dude looked just like him.
Chase Buttinger.
Yeah, on the men's team.
Is on the men's, the beach volleyball.
Yeah.
And he played at Arizona, was in the league for a couple years,
Yeah.
and played in Minnesota. And he made the transition to go back to volleyball. I think he did it coming up.
Yeah.
And so that is almost an example, but Blake Griffin with his explosiveness.
Oh my God. And this guy looked just like him and had his size, and it was like, he is going to hurt somebody. I mean, for how much I hate Blake Griffin. I mean, let's remember, he was pretty powerful and destructive early in his days in the NBA. But yeah, this guy looked just like him. Have you cried yet?
I had a tear for, how about was it for the Canadian women beating Australia? Like, to see how, because if you watch the game, number one, Australia was considered a gold medal contender.
Right.
To go along with New Zealand, I think is the other one. Of course, why not New Zealand, Australia? But to see, and then when you physically see the difference between, like, Australia looked like this is women's rugby, and Canada looked like, which one of the ladies, their star, she switched from like swimming to rugby. And they look like a bunch of people that switched from another sport and they put a team together, and to watch them win, it was like I kind of welled up a little bit, like, holy cow, like this is, like you put in all that work, and then if it comes together at the right time, it can, and it was special to see that. I get chills. I get chills a lot. You know me, I'm a little emotional person. I mean, I tear up a lot during these Olympics, and it's stupid of me. I'm watching the Olympics, and I'm watching the men's gymnastics get a bronze medal, and I'm like, oh my God, a bronze! Oh my God, they did it! The boys did it! Now, I was extremely happy for him, but I wasn't physically watching it. I got it on the family chain, that they text chain that they had done it, but that was that was
in the gymnastics. Oh my God, Simone, psh.
Limping around. I mean, they're just so good.
So good, and she's so good, and she's got just the $1 million smile, and she's just fantastic. What an unbelievable athlete, and just the way that she finishes every routine is just incredible.
No matter what, she's and with the degree of difficulty and how she does things.
Right. All right, we both watched Rafa play Djokovic.
Yes.
And it's probably the last time, or it's considered the last time that these two may meet ever. And real unfortunate. Rafa it looks like he hadn't played much in the last 2 years, and he looked like he was hurt and looked like he's old. And Djokovic dominated 6-1 in the first set. Got up 4-love. Now give Rafa credit. He came back to make it 4-4, but before losing 6-4. But it was kind of neat to see
them
after he came back in that when he made it 4-4. I was like, all right, this was kind of what we were looking for. And Rafa got into it, and it was cool to see them play each other one last time.
Well, also the crowd got a chance to really get, because they didn't want to see it go that way. You know, all of them came there because how good Rafa is on clay court. Also, that they felt like he would have a chance, a better advantage than if it was on hard courts, because of having to move the speed of the game, and he's not at his best. And so with the not being 100%, not playing a lot of tennis, and then running up against a guy who is still continuing to play as if he's in his prime, even though Rafa is only a year older. After the match, he said that you saw two guys at different points in their careers.
Right.
And it was just a reality. And sometimes people's bodies, they go how they go. And then also it's just your spirit to continue to keep doing it when you're physically not able. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a hit. So it was good to see the fight.
Right.
And I think for the fans it was good that were there. It was good to see. But ultimately, I don't know if he has done at this point, but ultimately I would suspect he would retire. And he and Alcaraz lost in the doubles to the Americans.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how much more tennis realistic at the level that he played it that he could realistically play.
All right, other Olympic notes. Okay, a couple of nuggets. David Popovic. He's a swimmer from Romania. His nickname is the Chlorine Daddy.
Chlorine Daddy.
Yeah, that's my favorite nickname so far of the thing.
Well, what about the new Michael Phelps? The
kid
French
from France.
Jesus.
What's his name? McLeod or something like that?
I have no idea. I just watch every time he's doing the breaststroke, he come out there like, woo, woo. In the arena, all the crowd, all the fans.
Yeah.
It's like anything that he does.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool to see. I mean, it's great that they have the athletes to cheer for him. Right now, he's the best in swimming. And again, this is only because it's what I've heard them say.
Right.
This is not from
that's
any.
what they say.
It's not from any previous knowledge of his swim excellence.
No. Ping pong. Man, it's like watching Fast Forward.
Doubles. I watched the finals of doubles. It was North Korea versus China. I don't know and understand how in the hell they can see the ball with as fast as they move. They hit the ball, and they got to hit. They have to hit. And I love ping pong. Table tennis. Sorry, table tennis for everyone out there.
Ping pong.
It's just right. Exactly. We play ping pong. They play table tennis. I'll call it for them as table tennis. How in the heck they go from hitting it, interchanging for the next person to be able to hit and as fast and as hard as they hit it. It's amazing to watch them. And they had like a 14-shot rally. I was literally like, oh, yes, oh, good. I'm like, what is? You see this table tennis?
That's what Snoop needs to go to.
Yes.
That's what we need Snoop at.
Yes. That's been interesting having him.
It has been. He's been cool. He's been good.
I think he's done a good job of being Snoop.
Yeah.
But still giving you something from the Olympics.
I love that he's seen at all these events. I mean, he's going to, and he's not just there for 5 minutes. He's going to these events.
Yes.
And staying, and then going to the next event, and then going to the next event. So that's been kind of cool. What about Colin Jost's role?
I don't understand.
Do you get it? I mean, is it funny?
No. So is he really hurt? Like, did he?
I guess he's hurt. Yes.
And so I saw him in the pool today because he's at the golf. Oh no, he's at the surfing in Tahiti. I didn't understand. I didn't know if this was serious or if it was.
I haven't figured that out yet.
So you know me, I don't really got the patience. So, and surfing is not high on my list. And I'm just like,
but
y'all not even in the vicinity of where the Olympics are.
I like him a lot, and I think this is supposed to be funny. So I'm kind of playing along, I guess, at this point. So I'm still on board, not sure what they're doing. Like, at some point, is he going to like interview a surfer?
Are you going to do something? Or is he going to look at you lay in this pool every time he comes to you and say, "What drink do you have now?"
Right.
I mean,
at some point, is there going to be some
content?
Yeah, I don't know. Or at least, hey, they won a medal today. Something like an update on the surfing. I don't know.
I didn't even. I honestly, I've now tuned it out because I don't even think they're a part of the Olympics. Like, how can you feel a part of the Olympics?
Being in Tahiti?
Being in Tahiti, like, did they have a village set up, like Olympic village set up for everybody?
Small village. Takes a small village to, what's the saying?
It takes a village. It takes a village to raise somebody. This takes a small village for the Olympic patriots.
Right. Another celebrity, Flavor Flav, with the women's water polo team. That's kind of cool.
Is he like the?
He paid the money.
Yeah, it's about somehow he was the benefactor.
Yeah, and he's there watching them. I mean, it's great, just great seeing American icons. The rugby sevens we mentioned, the women winning, that was another tearjerker. Like, oh my, I mean, I literally jumped out of my couch and said, "Go, run!" And there she went. And bronze medal, first medal ever for the United States. Pretty incredible.
The only other part I hate about this is, you know what, and I'm just always bad at it. I don't remember anyone's name.
Oh, I won't remember anyone's name in a week.
I feel bad about that.
Simone, we'll remember Simone.
I mean, she's the face of
she's the goat.
American gymnastics at this point. But I like all of these young ladies in the gymnastics and all of these athletes. I commend them on what they do, but I hate that I'm just not going to remember.
It's just the way it is, man. It's part of the game. Part of the game.
If they're good enough to come back in 4 years, I'll be like, I remember them.
That's right. The women's synchronized diving got screwed, and it was cool. They had their names were Cook and Bacon.
Cook Bacon. No, I didn't see any diving.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any diving. Like I saw like the belly flop thing. I saw that. Did you see that?
Oh no.
I think it wasn't.
Is that a competition?
It wasn't in the Olympics. It was in some other.
Oh.
Some other cup, but the guy went and just did a belly flop. He jumped, did his spin,
right?
Forgot where he was.
Two other things. The opening ceremonies were great.
Oh, how good was that?
I mean, I thought the Eiffel Tower looked awesome.
Spectacular.
I mean, what a view. The beach volleyball venue is an amazing view with the Eiffel
you
Tower
literally
right behind it.
Right in the background.
Awesome. So that was I thought that was cool. Celine was cool. I thought the boats were cool. LeBron with the flag, that was cool.
Like Captain America.
Man knew how to hold that flag, didn't he?
I mean, that man, his muscle arm had to be tired at the end because it seemed like he was flexing the whole time, holding it. So I mean, right here, this part of his arm had to be, at the end of the day, had to be tired.
Representing your country and winning, I think I'd black out on the podium. I couldn't. I mean, because when I watch these people whose names I won't remember a week from now, and they're on the podium and they have tears, and I start crying because I'm like, what a moment for this person.
Yes.
And think about how big that view of the American flag and hearing that song means to you at that moment. I'm getting a little nervous talking about it right now, BK. I can't imagine being in that moment. I'd black out on the podium.
I would shed 3 tears.
Oh.
I would definitely be
multiples.
I wouldn't be nose running crying. Not that crying. You know, there's levels to this crying game. There's
shoulder shaking.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even when the tears stop, you still like, that's when you used to get in trouble though. Your parents used to give you, that's when you used to get beaten.
You stop.
Yes, you better stop crying.
Exactly.
That's it, that bottom lip.
I'm not crying.
Right, yeah. I would definitely be up there. I would cry, even like you said, because when you watch those ceremonies, and that national anthem starts to play, and then they pan back to the athlete, and then they go back to the flag again, and they come back. It's like, man, it's involuntary.
Right.
The feeling that you get.
And 10 minutes earlier, Chirico told us a story about their family that now is deep in our heart of like, oh my God, this kid.
And they won.
Right. I mean, it's
so yeah.
It was amazing.
And I'm not afraid. My family knows I'm always the first to add a tear. Like as soon as there's something that may be sentimental, they're all like,
"Is it coming?"
Yeah, and I'm like,
coming? No, I'm good. I'm not crying. You're crying. All right. NBA notes. Here's one. Drew Holiday, who's an Olympian.
Yep.
For Team USA. He named his 3 hardest players to defend. 3 hardest players he ever had to defend. Kobe Bryant, Kemba Walker, and Derrick Rose. A couple things from that list. Wow, Drew Holiday's been around a long time if he's naming Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Kemba Walker was really good for a moment.
Kemba Walker had one of the hardest stop-and-go games that you would have to defend. What I mean from going to going again, to stopping and popping. He had one of the hesitation, pull up, jump shot. He had one of the I call one of the hardest dribble games that to defend. So I know what you're talking about. I understand what Drew was talking about with that.
And then the other thing, how good Derrick Rose was.
Derrick Rose was phenomenal, man. I mean, he was. He combined the speed, the agility, the force, strength, athleticism. He had it all, and then he just had that quiet way of going out and being dominant.
Yeah.
When he played.
Who are your 3 hardest players to defend?
For me, it was Iverson, Kenya Wilkins.
Kenya Wilkins?
Yes. He played at Oregon when I was at Stanford. He's like 5'8". And he was just a terror for me to have to defend, play against. You know, I didn't play against.
Did you ever give him a too short?
I know. I was also too short. So just gave me a too short guy, give another too short guy. It was just 2 bulldogs out there battling every time we stepped on the floor. And then after that, there's nobody else that stands out outside of those 2 as being people that were tough. And I guess it's because also the people that I played against the most. You know, early in my career, playing in the Eastern Conference for all of those years was Allen Iverson 4 times a year.
Right.
And I was defending him 4 times a year, and it was like, so that was, and then playing against Kenya for 4 years, that's twice a year. Those are my 2 that I could say off the top of my head that really gave me problems. Now, Damon Stoudemire was another one. See, my problems were in college. Like in the league wasn't. I mean, it wasn't anybody that still. But in Damon Stoudemire, and I only played him. I think 2 years I played against him, maybe 2 years. But then I played him in the league, and just that leftiness. Travis Best was another one. Lefty, strong. And this is their game. They throw you off with how they play because it's not what you're accustomed to seeing.
Right. All right, good stuff. Caitlin Clark, the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game viewership saw a 300% increase from last season. 300%, 3.4 million people. She already has more career assists than 75.4% of all players in WNBA history. Wow.
See, then the thing is,
it's All-Star break, so we just have nuggets.
Well, the thing is, what will help her is if they just continue to harp on how good of a basketball player she is.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not so much trying to say who's the face of the WNBA, who's going to continue to drive. That's happening because it's because she's good.
Yeah.
Like if she was just another average player out there, then she would just be another average player playing.
How about our women's team? Shout out to the women's team. They're winning big every day.
I mean, they're just so much bigger than
the world hasn't caught up with the women's team.
No. And the problem is with that is the women just continue to keep taking steps.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I think what we're saying with the men in terms of the athleticism, the physical side of the game, I think it is kind of what it's going to be.
Right.
But on the women's side, I felt like it was still that room to grow, and I said I felt like the athleticism is becoming more across the board.
Yeah. And
it's just becoming more and more, but they just continue to get better and better at it themselves, and the skill just continues to get better. So yeah, they still have a grip on world basketball.
Toasts?
Yeah.
You know, we used to call these hugs, but that was kind of weird.
Yeah, so we changed it to toast.
But today I want to throw one out to Beyonce. So
you're giving her a hug. if she's around just giving her hugs, then I don't want a toast.
You don't know.
I want a hug too.
You don't know. But shout out to her for just coming out in the opening ceremonies and just basically coming out and unveiling herself in a USA outfit that was spectacular, and she just says, "Team USA," and that was it. And then she starts clapping, and that's all she had to do. I mean, shout out, toast to Beyonce.
You don't have to do much more than that.
No.
I got me a toast.
Yeah.
I'm going to toast my boy George here that works at the front of Southwind, the security gate. Went inside to get the passes for the tournament.
Yeah.
And went in and we were talking. He's like, "I hadn't seen you because we're coming to different gates." So, "Yeah, I hadn't seen you much either." And he was like, "It was really cool to meet President Obama, wasn't it?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Well," I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." First I was like, "Yeah, man, it was just one of those things that's once in a lifetime." But then it hit me. I was like, "Well, you listen to the podcast?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been listening to the podcast for some time now."
Get out of here.
I was like, "What? Get out of here." He's like, "Yeah, you guys, you and Rob do a good job together." I was like, "Man, give me something, man. Nice to meet you." So,
Toast,
baby.
So if let's say hypothetically, after you and the president play golf together at some point.
Yes.
Because it's going to happen, right? Don't you
Yes.
see it in your future?
Oh,
Awesome.
The crystal ball is as clear as it's ever been.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Let's say things go really well, hypothetically, and he gives you his number. What do you put for his name in the phone?
44.
44.
Because we're boys. Only if you're his boy can you call him 44.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Then if he ever calls and that 44 comes up, you're like, "Yeah, you know who this is."
You see it? I gotta go.
Oh, very nice. All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Night Court. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget, you can watch every episode. If you're just listening, you can watch every episode as well. Bluff City Media YouTube channel is where you can do that. Or if you follow us on Twitter, we got links to it as well. I'm at The Fish Nation. He is at Brevin Knight 20. The show at Night Court 22. For BK, I'm Fish. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll talk to you again next week on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.